Hey guys, this is HELLHADES. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, this might well be the most insane update I'm ever gonna deliver. This could be the biggest thing that ever hit Raid Shadow Legends. HH Gaming have done it. We've got remote optimization. We've got mobile optimizer up and running for you guys from today. If this is something you actually want to do, I suggest you watch the video in full. End to end, not like I'm going to skip bits. Watch it in full because I'm going to show you how this works. And it's a little bit complex for someone who's never done it before. So literally just help yourself by watching it in full. And if you still struggle, come and join my Discord and we can help people through it, because we know until you've used it a few times, it can feel difficult to do. Okay, we've seen it over the last couple of years. We tried to improve that, but it's still tough for new players, that new people using it. So what we've done is we have added a remote optimization, and it's also pretty much Optimizer 3.0. Like, we've added a bunch of new features, a bunch of new cool stuff for anybody who's used the optimizer before. Now, I need to call this out. The team at HH Gaming have done a phenomenal job to get this done. It's been hundreds of hours of work. We've pretty much done something which everybody, including the team that did it, they didn't think it was possible to do. We kept pushing it. It's like, can we make this happen? And we've done it. So I need to call out Dakut, who was the original absolute like legend behind the optimizer. The original dude who kind of came up with this, who's now made it work for mobile as well. We've got to call out Wolfie, who does a lot of the back-end development stuff alongside Dakut. And then we've got to call out Saf, who basically makes all of this code usable. Yeah, he does all of the front-end design. You know, we've been as a team testing it, going back to Saf. He's worked like an absolute dog over the last couple of weeks, honestly, putting in insane amounts of hours to make this happen. So, brilliant team. And I'm also going to call out the fact that remote optimization or mobile optimization, you do have to be a paid member to do it. We've put in our own servers, which we have to pay to run. We've paid the development team for their time, and that is, as I say, hundreds of hours of work. And we continue to improve things. Yeah, so it's not free to do it. And particularly for mobile optimization, we have to have a membership tier to be able to afford to run the servers and all that type of stuff. So it is what it is. And, you know, hopefully you guys will appreciate that. So if you want to get involved, first thing you will need to do is to become a member on hellhades.com. I'll put the links down below. Come into the membership page here, and it basically talks you through what is available for each different member role. But you will get given tokens for remote optimization based on the tier level that you are. And you will also get priority, I guess, in terms of utilizing our servers for different tiers as well. So just to kind of throw that out there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through in this video what the new remote optimization looks like and how it works. And I'm also going to show you on our main page. This is like on my desktop right now. I'm going to show you the mobile version shortly. But you can use the main website now on your desktop for remote optimization as well. And a reason why you might choose to do that is if, let's say, your PC or your laptop just doesn't have a good GPU. Or you use as. That's the whole point of the remote. So I could go in, grab my champion, choose the remote optimization tab. It's default off, turn it on, and then you'll be using our hardware to do the job for you. Okay. Anytime you use remote optimization, you're going to use up some of your tokens, which they reset on a weekly basis. Okay. So you get so many different options, I guess, to optimize one of your champions. So if I did a damage build with remote optimization, I'll show you better shortly all the different tabs, but you see there's a token limit for me here. When I start, basically it's going to use one of my or 5 of my tokens to do an optimization, and it's now using our servers to do it. You go into the history tab and you'll see it's processing here because it's using our hardware. And basically what they'll do is all of these different requests will be queued with other users that are doing the same thing. So you can go off and do whatever you want. Go off, make a cup of tea, go and play your game, whatever you want to do. But when you come back, few results will be there and it will give you the results of the optimization. And literally, we've now done it in this kind of like card system where you can be like, bam, here's the results and here's the gear. You still need to go into the game and equip the gear. Okay, all it's doing is it's showing you where this good gear is for the build that you want. Again, you could just kind of look through any of the ones you want and find the build that you want. If you preferred the old style view, you could say view as list, and it will give you this kind of like table view where you're comparing each of the different builds side by side. New feature that SAF's added in is a silver cost to change your gear based on the build. Yeah, another new feature that SAF's added in. By the way, you can hit show differences and you'll see kind of plus and minuses here for the builds. But yeah, you can go into the cards and... sorry, let me go back. Sorry, on here, depending on what you're asking the optimizer to do. So if it's a damage build, you'll see on this front card the amount of damage increase you get with the new build. Yeah, and you can kind of compare those to each other in terms of the type of optimization. If you were doing a survival mode, the front card will show you your EHP, which is how likely you are to survive or how much stats you gain. And a balance mode will just show you the stat that you're looking to increase the most. Yeah, so the different cards represent the different optimization modes. Let's flip onto mobile so you can kind of see me working this through on a mobile phone. Okay, so you've got yourself now a mobile connection to the optimizer, and all you're doing here is you're going onto a website, okay? What you need to do first is log in with your HELLHADES.com, not your raid details yet, your HELLHADES.com login, okay? And what that's going to do is just going to prompt you for your username, not email, username, and password. Once you've done it on a phone, I mean, I've done it on my phone, it saves the details or whatever, and then you can log in again and again if your phone does that. But ultimately, that's going to be your HELLHADES.com login first. You then go into import your raid account information. And this is asking for your actual raid details, your login email and your password for Raid Shadow Legends. And then you have to put in your two-factor authentication. And that's using a Google Authenticator app, not using one that's sent to an email. We don't accept that. It has to go to a Google Authenticator app. You put in that code and then you can log into our extractor. And what that's going to do is it's going to extract your raid data, pretty much the equivalent of taking a screenshot of your whole raid account at that moment in time. We'll take that data and instantly we hash your raid details. So we don't store any raid details at all on our system. That means that every time you come back to the website to extract data, you're going to have to put in those raid details each time, which is exactly the way we want it to be. If you come back to the website, you can actually use your previously extracted data whenever you want. So you don't have to extract every single time. But if you want your most up-to-date information from your raid account, let's say you've got new items, you've got new heroes, whatever, you will need to extract the data to get to that point. So once you put your details in, you hit the extract and you're going to be put into a queue. And the queue, it just depends how many people are using this system. We don't know the numbers that are going to use it right now. We've got multiple servers. Hopefully it won't take you very long, but you'll be queued up and then you'll be logged in and we will extract your data. Once it's extracted, you'll get taken through to your champion page. And obviously you can kind of like scroll around the champion page. You can change the view so that you've got just multiple champions on the same viewpoint. In the top right, there's that hamburger menu. You can choose between champions, artifacts, share your team, team optimizer, or just like a settings type of page. So if we talk you through the artifacts first, basically this is all the artifacts on your account. You can hit the show ratings tab. This is the HELLHADES rating. Myself and Safa kind of worked through this. Basically what it does is it looks at the type of piece of gear that you've got, and we give it a potential rating and then an actual rating at this moment in time. The more you level it, the better it will get towards its potential or not, in essence. So if it's a savage piece and it's got crit rate on it, then we're going to be looking for multiple rolls of crit rate for that to be a better piece. Yeah, because savage, you want to do damage. If it's regeneration and it's got HP, then it gets bonus points for HP. That type of thing. So it's by no means is it a foolproof system, but it's decent in terms of like, you know, trying to do a bit of a gear cleanse. It's worth saying at this point, we do not inject code into Raid. So if you find some pieces that you want to sell because you feel like they're crap and, you know, you looked at the rating and you thought, yep, it is crap. You still have to make the decision yourself. You have to physically go into your game, find that piece and sell it. We don't do that for you. There's a number of different filters in the artifact tab, so you can filter out your triple rolls, your quad rolls, if you want to do some chaos ore stuff. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do, and you can also order by certain stats and that in the top right as well. So it should be pretty easy to use once you've played around with the artifacts tab for a little while. But definitely quite a nice one if you're on the move and you're just trying to look for some nice pieces to either level or some pieces to get rid of. Okay, so let's get into optimizing a champion. So you find the champion that you want. On that champion, there's now a champion menu in the top left in red. You can kind of click into there and find some different things like what masteries they currently got, what their skills currently do, the artifacts they're currently wearing, any past historical builds that you've done with that champion. It's all there, okay? From this page, you can then hit find builds, and this is where you're going to start to optimize the build for that particular champion. So start off with, you need to go through the mode that you're going to use. So balance mode generally is I want to find a stat or 1 or 2 or 3 prioritized stats. Yeah, so it might be like, I want someone who's going to be a tank. So in balance mode, I'm going to prioritize HP, defense, and I don't know, resistance or whatever, or speed. You've then got damage mode, pretty much any damage dealer you'd use this one for. And then you've got survivability, is if you really just want to make someone as tanky as possible in the game. So once you've hit your mode, you start to use the arrows to go along. Again, I've recorded this from my phone, so you can literally see how this works. There's some tabs here. Do I want to include equipped items or not? You can change the masteries up if you wanted to. You then go in and you choose what target you're going to be fighting. So you can either choose some content from the game, or if you're not going to choose actual content from the game, you can just choose general and then set the defense of the enemy that you want to fight. Like if I was fighting in the arena, I would just choose an enemy's average defense to be, say, 3,500, and an enemy's max HP or target HP to be something like, I don't know, for me, probably like 100k, but for most people, something like 40k. Once you've done that, you can then start to tab across and you get into the stats page. If you're doing a damage build, all you want to do is put the speed in that you want. Sometimes you might do the optimization, say, well, hold on a minute. Yeah, I've got good damage, but I do need to stay alive longer. All I would say to you is put the minimum stuff that you require on this page. So if it's accuracy, put the accuracy in as a minimum. You don't need to write min and max right the way down the page. In fact, you'll get crap results doing that. So it already knows that you're going to want high damage. So whatever the damage stat is for that champion, fine, it will do that for you. This page is literally just what other minimums do you definitely need. Normally, I would only put speed in here. But if it's someone who needs to land abilities as well, I would put accuracy as well. That's pretty much all I would do. And only minimums is what I would normally do. So once you've put those in, you then, again, scroll to the next section. And you can choose, if you've got a ring or a banner or something you particularly want on, then you untick on the slots page and tell it not to find you a different ring. You then go into the required sets. And again, you can either select a set that you want. For damage gear, it knows that Savage will do more damage than normal gear. It knows about lethal. So you don't ever need to filter and select those. It will do it for you. The only reason you really add a slot or a set is if it's something like Stone Skin and you definitely want this champion in that set. You can then go into the glyphs tab here and just put in the glyph value that you think you could add to items. So if you've got tons of, I don't know, tier 2 speed glyphs, you could just write 2 speed in the speed part, and it will know now to add that to any item that's not glyphed. And then from there, once you've done your glyphs, you'll basically get into the optimize page, and you'll see how many tokens you've got right now and how many you've got left for the week. And then if you're happy with all your settings here, you hit start and you're going to get your optimization going. That will, because it's on mobile, it already knows that it's remote, and it will use the remote optimizer. What you'll then see is a history tab or configure another request. You could go and set another request. So you could do damage mode, and then you could go back in again and say, I want to do damage mode, but with Stone Skin. And what you're able to do there is, whilst it's processing the first request through our servers, you can actually get it, doing another request for our servers. And then once the 2 of them have come back, and it might be that I don't know how busy these servers are going to be, honestly. I've got zero idea how many people are going to be using this service right now. But either way, it's doing that whilst you go and do something else if you want to. So you could literally go and complete a clan boss run on raid, or you could go and play another game or whatever. You come back into your past results tab, it's going to have all of that information, and then you can do your comparison and decide which items you want to equip. We don't equip the items for you. There's a button here that says equip in Optimizer. That's not equipping in your game. That's just if you want to be playing around doing some like theory crafting stuff in the Optimizer, and you don't want those items to be found for someone else. So you would equip it in Optimizer, lock that champion, and then in the Optimizer, it thinks you've already equipped it in game. But you'll be able to see the 2 builds side by side and just decide which one you're going to go ahead and use. So just to focus on the balance mode build for a second, because this is quite different to how it was before. If you already used the Optimizer, if you haven't, this is how it works. You basically go in, you do all the main stats, as we've said in the video so far. But then what you do is you tick the priority of stats that you want to push high. Okay, and there might be some things that you just have to put in as a minimum. So you might say, I definitely want 100% crit rate, but ultimately what you're doing is you're saying, these stats I want you to push a high priority on. You could put no minimums in here, because all it's going to do is look for multiples of these stats. Once you've ticked different priorities, you then scroll down to the bottom and you'll see little arrows. And basically what you're doing here is you're just saying which of these different stats that you want should be the highest priority down to the lowest. Yeah, and then of those 3, you kind of choose the order that you want. Everything else then is the same. You kind of go through, choose if you want a set. So I guess I'll pick regen set here just to give you a feel for what I might do with this type of balanced build. Yeah, you then go in, choose if you want to add any glyphs in the mix as well. Again, similar to what I've done so far in the video. You hit your optimize, you hit your start, and then it's going to go out and find you those stats in that set for the mobile optimizer. This is an enhancement of how we did it before, and hopefully it's more user-friendly than what we did before. But once the build comes back, you can see when I flip the tab here that it's prioritized speed, HP, and accuracy exactly as we said on the balance build. Okay, let's take you around a couple of other areas quickly here. And what I would say, actually, I am going to be doing deep dive videos. I'm on holiday from Friday. I'm going to be doing I'm going to be preparing some deep dive how-to videos for whilst I'm away. So how to do a damage build with real efficiency, how to build the best tank, etc. I'm going to do those type of videos. So basically look out for those from this weekend onwards whilst I'm away. And you'll start to see some of those come through. And I know that Saf's going to do some updated videos as well on like best ways to use the tool. But anyway, let's look around some other stuff. So you can go into your current teams and share your teams with friends or clanmates or whatever. If someone wants to know your exact team you're using, it will show your gear, it will show your stats, it will show your masteries, and it will create a link if you want it to share to your friends. Another area in here which is massive is Team Optimizer. So Team Optimizer helps you to find teams that other people have run whilst using the Optimizer on their PC. So you click in, you say, find me a team. What it will do is it will look for teams in the area that you're looking that have been run on the Optimizer by someone else in the community. They are teams that exist, but they will be based on champions that you own. So there are filters where you can just kind of filter out champions that you own that are not already 6-starred and stuff. But basically you go in, you find the team that you think makes most sense, utilize some of those filters if you want to find more successful teams that have been run over a number of battles. If you want to find a team that specifically got a champion, you can filter that in. If you want to find a team that specifically excludes a champion because you don't want to take them out of another team, you can do that as well. You eventually get to the team that you want, and you click into it. You need to go from the variations of the team to actually click in View Full Details. You need to press that button, View Full Details. Then you add those champions to the Team Optimizer. At this point, you can actually, this is another new addition that Saf's added in. You can click on selected team and go to and fro between the team you're trying to build and the stats page. We couldn't do that before. Saf's added it in, which now means that you can go back and say, oh, hold on a minute, what masteries were they running? Hold on a minute, what sets were they using? And add that in for each of the different champions that you're trying to build. Because ultimately, if you're trying to do this on a team optimizer, building your version, you kind of want to do the same thing if you want to get the same results. You then go in individually by champion and you do the same process we've seen with a single champion build. What type of optimizer do we want to use? What stats are we looking for? What sets are we looking for? All of that stuff. You do that right the way through on each of the different champions. And it's as if you're kind of like trying to set up a multiple champion optimization. That's what a team one is, right? You can also click and say, I don't want to optimize that particular champion, and then you won't need to optimize that champion. So you can kind of see examples of me doing that on my mobile here, going through different champions. I'm using different types of optimizations here. So I'm using a kind of balanced one where I'm setting the priority of stats on one of them. I'm doing a damage one, just so you kind of get a feel for how this works. And then on this one, so once you've configured all of the champions that you want to do, you then go in and you hit optimize. Yeah, or you hit start, sorry. On this one, you hit start. We should change that word to optimize as well. What it will do, again, it will go into the queue system on a team optimization. It will use, I think we're using 15 tokens instead of 5 for the teams. And that will take a bit longer to run because each champion's now being individually optimized. So again, you might want to come back in 5 minutes and hit the history tab. And in the history tab, it will show the results. So once it's completed, you hit the view results. And again, it's going to bring you up by champion, the different builds that you could select from. Yeah, each in exactly the same way as it would for an individual champion. So you can select from different builds now. This is new. You can see the different improvements that each of them make depending on the type of build that you wanted. Click view. You look at the gear that you're going to be taking in-game to put on your champions. And you build each of them individually in-game based on the optimization that you've got. One thing I've not really covered off here is the new kind of manage account area where we changed quite a lot of the settings and the kind of general view, visual view. This works exactly the same in your mobile optimizer. So you can come here to do remote extraction if your PC does not have the GPU, the graphics card, to be able to do it yourself. So you can switch on remote extraction here and log in to your RAID account through our servers. I'd only suggest doing that if your PC isn't capable of doing it itself, but it's up to you guys. If you're a premium member, you would get the same tokens on remote extraction on your PC or mobile or wherever. It's a remote extraction rather than a mobile thing. There's also some other bits in here. So you can do the full account share. You can look at things like your Great Hall. You can look at your inbox and see if you've got anything which is due to expire anytime soon. I don't have a lot in there. But the other thing which we've kind of updated is the UI experience and the settings. So in here, there's a few important things. Telling the optimizer what stage of the game you're at will help when it comes to artifact rating. For example, right now, I'm ticked as end game. If I go in and see my ratings, let's take these few here. You can see very strong, average, weak, strong. If I go in and tell it, though, that I'm actually early game and look at those same ratings, you'll see that they're much stronger. So if you're an early game player, you would keep those pieces. If you're an end game player, chances are I should get rid of those pieces. So this is definitely something which is worth changing depending on what type of player you are. There's also some other things. Enable advanced locking. So what this means is on your champions, you've got 5 stages of lock rather than just lock yes or no, which means that you can say, all of my arena champions, I'm going to say are a lock 5. All of my clan boss champions are going to be a lock 4. My dungeons are a lock 3. And then when it comes to your actual optimizing, you can say, I want to include on the actual optimized part. Oh no, sorry, on the configure part. No, where is it? Oh, here it is. On the configure part, you can say include artifacts on lock champions. If you've got the advanced lock-in, you can actually say exclude though my priority 5. I don't want to touch that type of champion. Yeah, so it's quite a nice one to use. There's also, you can switch between the modern UI views and go back to the old ones with this box here. Yeah, basically you can just play around with this. All of the different kind of viewpoints now have been optimized, I guess, for different types of screen sizes. So, you know, if you're using a tablet, it should all break in the right way. If you're using a mobile, you've seen it, it should break in the right way. So all of those things should be great for you. If they're not, by the way, if you've got a particular model and we've not managed to make that work great, please feed that back to our Discord, because it might just be that it's a weird one that we haven't picked up on. So look, that's going to be the kind of initial view of what's going on. Clearly, we've bug tested a lot, but there still could be some stuff that we've missed. Okay, so if you guys spot anything that just feels a bit off, by all means, come to the Discord, feed it back. Equally, if you're struggling to use the tool after watching this video, come to the Discord. We will try and help you out. And look out for both mine and Saf's kind of more deep dive videos trying to help you do things more effectively. And that's going to be coming as of this weekend. But there you go, guys. Mobile Optimizer is finally here. And damn, I just want to say thank you to everyone at HH Gaming that's made it possible. And we hope you enjoy it. I've been HELLHADES. I'll see you later.